Welcome to the roast, Mortem. How's it going, guys? How the hell are you? How are your hearts? And of course, how are your heads? Guys, as always, I'm here beside my trusted but potentially temporary sidekick, Mystery Mick.
Temporary? Have I done something?
Well, just permanently thin ice.
Okay.
I like to keep people close to me uncertain and unsteady in terms of their position in my life.
Yeah.
It gives me the illusion of control and ironically drives a bigger wedge between me and the ones I love the most.
Yeah, I'd say that's fairly sadistic.
It's just self-destructive. See Ozzy Osbourne died yesterday?
I did.
Crazy. But that's how it goes. No? Too soon.
Too soon.
You can't do.
Literally hours at this stage.
It's a tough... Ozzy Osbourne dying is a tough one for the influencers.
How so?
It's hard to repurpose the death of a man who swallowed a bat into a sort of palatable Instagram story, isn't it? You didn't see the big heavy hitters on Instagram. You didn't see them coming out with the quote cards last night. You know, Robert Williams they can deal with. Maggie Smith all day. Judi Dench, that'll be a field day. Attenborough, they won't sleep for weeks.
Yeah.
The quotes will be coming out. Ozzy Osbourne, not as much. Nah, do you know what I mean?
Nah.
That's not... You can't exactly go for the quotes. It's not as easy.
No, I'm actually trying to reach to a quote at the moment.
It was one for the hipsters.
Yeah.
It was one for the real, you know, at the end of the day, he was the king of rock. Well, he wasn't. He was the Prince of Darkness.
He was.
Fair play to him, though. Only 76.
Yeah, and
if you think about that, by the way,
recently,
that means when we were watching him on the Osbournes, he was in his late 20s. No, you can't.
Someone's taking my beer.
Welcome back to the Roast Mortem.
Lovely. Yeah, brilliant.
The home of the best impressions in Ireland. I'm here with Mystery Mick. Guys, you're tuning into the Ratz Carlton Part 2. If you missed the first episode, I would highly recommend you going back to revisit. It's fairly straightforward. The name, sort of in a Ronseal way, does exactly what it says in the tin. The Ratz Carlton. I was contacted by a couple on Instagram recently to say that they had stayed in a hotel in a location of Ireland, which I will disclose at some point during this episode. And they woke up to discover, they noticed a strange smell in the hotel when they were checking in.
From the moment they got there.
From the moment they got there, they raised it with the ban on tea, and then
Ban on tea?
Just for the catch-all. Any woman outside Dublin is a ban. Just this complete meathead. Yeah, so we stopped off in the pub down at the Horse and Jockey, and I asked the ban on tea for some goujons and chips. Just any woman outside of the pale he thinks is a ban on tea. An imbecile meat brain. Do your Aussie impression there, mate. Anyway, they said that they mentioned the smell to the ban on tea, and she was like, there's no smell, whatever. They went out to the wedding, they got drunk at the wedding, they came home, went to sleep, woke up the next morning where the smell was extremely bad. And that's when the husband, they were checking out, they went down to breakfast, then they were checking out. The husband, when they were checking out of the hotel, or the B&B rather, he saw what he believed to be a pair of rolled up socks in the duvet, reached in to grab it, and of course, it was a rat.
And then Ozzy appeared.
Too soon, Michael.
Oh,
Man's
okay.
barely cold. So,
okay.
Not fair. 76. Anyway, they found that it was a rat. And not only that, it was a dead rat, which they believed to be the source of the smell. All hell breaks loose. Then the ban on tea is very sort of defensive from the get-go. They have a bit of a discussion. They say that they'll rectify the issue later on, and they never do. Mm-hmm. So here we are 6 months later. The woman still hasn't received, the couple still haven't received a refund from the woman. They contact me. I put up the podcast last week. Just as we were recording the podcast, I made contact with the proprietors of this B&B, and we started speaking to them via Facebook Messenger, okay? Because the ban on tea had a fairly colourful presence on Facebook.
To say the least, yeah.
You know, in terms of openly commenting under Indo.ie articles about random people going, oh, not this shower of gobshites again. And it's the under 11s camogie team from, Cara Savine. Anyway, I've made contact with the proprietor. Mm-hmm. I've got some bad news. We arranged an interview for the weekend. It had to be done on the weekend, apparently, because of work and whatnot. She cancelled the interview last minute.
Absolutely devastating.
No Zoom call, no phone call. She went completely cold. I started messaging her then, not relentlessly, but I started messaging her on Facebook just to sort of see what the story is. And she came back to me to say that she wouldn't be willing to do a phone interview because she had listened to the episode and she felt like she'd be sort of hanging herself out to dry if she came on to the podcast. However, she did say that she would be willing to sort of discuss this with me over Facebook. So I'm just going to pull up the conversation here. Where were we? Oh yeah.
Would it be fair to say she wanted to share her side of the story?
So basically, she vehemently disagrees with the case put forward by the couple.
Yes.
Well, you see, I'm going to read out the transcript to you because it's probably the easiest way of doing this. But I can't comment, and I need to be careful here, joking aside, because she is putting forward a very different case than the couple. So I can't, say whether this is true or the couple's version is true. But what I would like to do, if they're all willing, is to get them all. If they're not willing to be in the same room, I think we should get them on air at the same time and have this discussion, because otherwise I'm just getting myself into trouble by I know that the couple are going to be enraged when I read out this transcript, but there's nothing I can do. I have a duty of care here in terms of there's
two sides to every story.
And also I can't just believe something without, Anyway, here is the transcript of the Facebook Messenger conversation with the proprietor, with the ban on tea. She has given me permission to share this. I am going to adopt the role here of the ban on tea. I am going to do it in an accent that will assumingly become problematic. And Michael, you are going to be me and do that in an accent that will assumingly become problematic for our relationship.
Sure.
So, without any further ado, you're welcome to the Ratz Carlton Part 2. Check in, leave your bags down. I'm here, the hotel concierge, little bellboy there beside me. And on y va, let's go. So, this is, Michael is me, and I am the woman. What sort of voice will I do for her? What's my they say that my rural my rural Irish impression is appalling.
Really?
Yeah.
I don't know do you want to give it a go?
No, I'll just shoot from the hip. Okay, you go. Let's go.
Okay. Thanks for taking the time to talk. Would you mind starting by explaining why are you so resistant to resolve this issue with the couple who contacted me?
Mark, you can
That's fine, is it?
Mark.
Far better than I thought it was going to be.
Mark, you can tell this to your followers on the podcast. We're an honest, open...
No, sorry, it doesn't say open.
We're an honest family business who are proud of our beautiful B&B overlooking. Over the years, I've had Spanish students, Italian students, and French students without any issue. This is the first RAS we've ever had indoors on our premises, and this is not something we should be talking about or bringing your attention to. We've had couples from Greece, even Latvia in our B&B, and they've all left happy. It just so happens that the one couple who have a problem are from Dublin. The couple you spoke to are a nasty pair, looking for a free stay after enjoying our facilities, and I'm after having months of emails from TripAdvisor trying to get them to delete the rat stuff off our page. Why don't you ask them if they use the shower, toweling, and shower wash? That was ours. The cups of tea and the breakfast were ours too. Maybe in Dublin they get away with this pressure, but they won't push people like us around. If they wanted to spend money and stay in the 5-star hotel down the road, they could have. This is a family business, but they are behaving like we're a huge hotel chain, and they are liars.
What do you believe the couple lied about?
When they first made the booking online, the husband rang me on the phone saying he had gotten a cheaper rate when coming down with his company a few years ago. I said our prices had gone up like most hospitality in Ireland. He said could he not get the same price as before? I said no. He was disgruntled and behaving like a bit of a wee shit.
No, it's too...
and behaving like a bit of a shite. I then get a follow-up email from his wife asking about the fee. I knew they were trouble as they kept trying to
lower the rate. It's just so stupid, boys. I'm sorry.
I think it's your best accent yet.
This is absurd.
It's
okay,
amazing.
Go on, read. Keep going.
What is your rate as a matter of interest?
February is not our peak season, so our B&B was €275 per night, and we are happy with that price, excluding a cooked breakfast.
Okay.
I suppose they didn't mention to you about them having the patio doors wide open into the garden when they got back from the wedding and were leaving dirty cigarette butts all over the floor of the patio. They were on a ground floor room in a country B&B. These things happen.
Are you suggesting the rat was their fault?
They didn't tell you that we advise all guest doors need to be kept closed at all times. We have a notice laminated on the wall downstairs with a warning, and there's even a picture of a rat beneath it. But this pair arrived home well after 3 a.m. and were fluttered,
Yeah.
hung around outside smoking cigarettes and playing music on their phones. The rat must have snuck in when they weren't looking, and that's what led to it being there.
But they said there was a smell in the room when they first arrived. How did the rat die?
It was spring. There was slowly being spread all over the county. That smell was everywhere, and it was nothing to do with the rat. As far as how the rat died, I don't know. But you have probably seen the husband, and he is not exactly awake. A rake? He probably sat on it.
How were they rude?
I told him I settle up with every guest... Nearly there. I told him I settle up with every guest cash only. It's easier for everyone involved. She had a problem with this, but again, there was a sign at the check-in desk saying cash only.
What do you see as the outcome of all of this?
There is no outcome.
Philosophical.
There is no outcome. They can go. You are welcome to stay here yourself, Mark, and make use of our facilities. I'm booked up from now until September with actual fee-paying guests who aren't causing bother over nothing.
Would you be willing to talk further on the podcast?
I don't want to be bringing any more attention to this than needs be, but I would be willing to go on it if you get that clowns on as well. Let's see if they are happy to do all the talking when I get to share my side of the story too.
Would it not be easier at this point to just give them a refund and move on?
And then she goes offline and I haven't heard back from her. That was 4 days ago. So, I'm sorry for that accent. It's completely absurd.
I have to say that was one of your greatest ever accents.
Really?
That was one of your best performances.
Really?
Yeah. Bit of a note, you did develop a speech impediment for half of it. The R's kind of took a bit of a W, but...
I think I was just so shocked by when she says, the rat must have snuck in when they weren't looking.
Like a cat burglar.
Like as if it's a little sort of acrobatic rat, Mission Impossible. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like just sneaking in. Oh, there, quick, she's looking in the other way. There we go. And then he ends up in the duvet deceased. So mission failed. Aborted. Okay. Okay, guys. Welcome back to the Ratz Carlton Part 2. Look, I was hoping to get her in the flesh. She sounds like a colourful individual.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay, a couple of comments just from going over our conversation on Facebook, right? She mentions that over the years she's had Spanish students, Italian students and French. It's like the fucking UN, like Kofi Annan reading out his CV. Do you know what I mean?
It was like a Pitbull song.
Greece, Latvia, honestly, it's completely insane. So, all the, you've got all the countries that Katrina Carey has probably scammed people in, right? And then, so she's naming all these other countries, which is fine. And I'm sure they all had a lovely time. But the reality is, that's all irrelevant. That's all conjecture. What's that word they use in legal drama? It's like, that's all nonsense. That's nothing to do with the thing.
The case in hand.
The case in hand. Again, it's like we spoke about this in the Cheaters podcast. You telling me all the times that you didn't cheat doesn't negate the time that you cheated.
Absolutely.
So giving us the sort of United Colours of Benetton advert is not really, or like when Neutrogena decided to be progressive. Anyway. the couple you spoke to are a nasty pair looking for a free stay after enjoying the facilities. And I'm after having months of emails from TripAdvisor to get them to delete the rat stuff off our page. Like, again, unfortunately, if the rat thing is true, you don't just get to delete. Like, that's a real experience that people had.
And an important one to, like, discuss.
Very much. So, then why don't you ask them if they use the shower toweling and shower wash? That was ours. Yeah, but they're paying for it. Like, that's the idea.
That's the service.
That's the service. They are the facilities. Like, as if anybody brings their own fucking towel to a B&B, you know? The cups of tea and the breakfast were ours too. But again...
Sorry as well, the breakfast not included for that price?
Well, we'll get to the price, mate.
Okay.
Slow down. But the cups of tea and the breakfast were ours too. But yeah, but like, again, that's all part of...
There was still a rat.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah, you're not disputing the bone of contention here.
You don't live in Soho in the sort of Victorian era of England, the time of sort of, what was your man's name? The famous murderer. Jack the Ripper, right?
Yeah.
You know, you don't frequent a sort of lewd sex parlour to have an encounter with the lady of the night, only for her to chase you down the cobbled streets of London and go, "Oi, you've been looking at my tits!" And she's like, "Well, yeah, that's what this transaction."
That was the.
You know what I mean?
Thing.
All right, Jack. You know, so I just, and then she goes, if they wanted to spend money, stay in the 5-star hotel down the road. Now, I do think this is interesting.
Okay.
And she mentions the fact that they're Dublin and whatever. I do believe that there's probably an element of truth in sort of, maybe not just Dublin, but like snobby couples going down to different sort of B&Bs, whether it's in Dublin or anywhere, and inside of Ireland or outside of Ireland. But they, you know, they go for like a more of a budget option, but then they still expect to be, you know, they expect the Ritz services. Now, obviously, the rat is not ritzy.
Yeah.
But... Okay, and then she insinuates that the couple are lying, and then she says when they first made the booking online, the husband rang to say that he wanted to get the rate that he had gotten when coming down with his company a few years ago. I mean, again, I'm like, yeah, that's sort of loose by the husband.
Yeah, I feel like there's a bang of entitlement off them and maybe an anti-Dublin or big city folk sentiment from the other side. There's a pair of them in it. There's
definitely, at this point, the relationship isn't getting off to a good point, like a good start, especially then when the wife follows up with an email asking about the fee. And then I say, what is the rate? €275 per night.
That is wild.
That's a lot for B&B, isn't it?
But also, like, so believable. Like, when you have to book stuff in Ireland, it's crazy.
Oh, don't get me started. Excluding a cooked breakfast, though. Yeah. What with the breakfast? What is it? Half a fucking like 500 quid?
But for a B&B, like, oh, so it's a B.
It's a B, like
it's a B.
It's a B and a maybe. Like,
very good.
Honestly, okay. And then she goes, I suppose I didn't mention to you about having the patio doors wide open. This is when it gets interesting. So the patio doors, the ground floor apartment wide open at 2 a.m. Cigarette butts. Okay, so they weren't nice guests. They didn't mention that to us, and they were playing music and stuff, whatever. But then. And then she says there is advice. Okay, this is the part that answers it all for me. They didn't tell you that we advise all guest doors need to be closed at all times. We have a notice laminated on the wall downstairs with the warning, and there's a picture of a rat beneath it. You can't tell me you don't have a rat problem.
Yeah.
And then have warnings of rats. I don't have, like... laminated cards up around the house in Castleknock saying, watch out there, and there's a tickle monster on the loose, because I'm not a pervert who either tickles people or warns people in advance of tickling. You know what I mean?
You just do it.
It just doesn't. No, it doesn't happen. It doesn't
I'm
exist.
joking.
Tickling doesn't exist in a realistic person's life over the age of 23. Like, it's just gone as an activity, unless you're the Japanese. So, like, they bloody love it for some reason.
Really?
School and tickling. The Japanese people love it. Apparently.
Interesting. You learn something new every day.
On the internet. Anyway, so having a sign up warning people about rats.
Yeah, you can't tell me this is the first time occurrence.
Also, what are the optics there? It's not really Insta-friendly content.
Yeah.
Oh, here we are down in Moira and Dave's little place, and just look at that massive sign of the vermin there, the check-in desk. So... Then she says, how did the rat die? And then she has a go at the husband saying he's not a rake of a man, which I'd never heard before. Assumingly means he's not thin.
Yeah.
Like, and then he probably sat in it. That's not how rats die.
No.
If you sit in a rat, one would assume your arse would get bitten.
Yeah, and I think the minute you start trying to defend, why the dead rat is there, like you're
the intervention of the ass on top of the live rat is not relevant to there's a rat in the room.
Well, if he ran 5k, the rat might still be alive.
Yeah, maybe if he wasn't fucking hammering the sugar. Nope. Okay, and then how are they rude? Then she settles with cash only. That's a nightmare.
Yeah, that is just objectively annoying.
It's also, let's be honest, it's tax evasion.
Absolutely.
You're not declaring this to the revenue.
Yeah.
If you're cash only, and then she says that there's no outcome other than I can come down and have a look and stay there. I mean, look, I'm happy to go down there, but yeah, I'm assuming I won't encounter a rat.
Yeah, I agree.
And then would it not be easier to just give them a refund and then she goes offline and that was it?
I do feel though, even in terms of this whole scenario, just give the refund. It's easier to move on. How
give
much
back
is that worth
the £275 in cash, which you assumably sleep on piles of if you're a cash only business. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Blocking up the door frames to prevent the rat sneaking into the master bedroom.
That's probably in the wallet at any given time.
Do you like?
Yeah, 100%.
Okay, Michael. This of all our investigations, this is potentially coming to the most disappointing ending of them all.
Yeah, I think so.
Unless they're willing to come on air, because I can't really, there's no point in me just hammering this person on Facebook Messenger. Louis Theroux doesn't have to do this shit.
Maybe we just go on a little weekend away together.
You don't see Stacey do. Sorry, do you know what I've actually noticed? Is this too niche?
Go on.
I was watching a documentary the other day, and it was a British TV presenter. It was actually a man from Rizzle Kicks.
Okay.
Jordan, is that his name?
Yeah, Jordan. Yeah.
Really interesting guy. But he was doing. It was just a clip from an interview or from a documentary he's doing, and it's obviously about online chat rooms or something, right? And sex talk. But you know those scenes that they have in these documentaries when they I sat down with Jean Constance, she's a cyber analyst at the firm, and we actually created an account and entered one of these chat rooms. And they sit down, and then it's I started chatting to Noel, a 43-year-old truck driver from Stonethorpe. And then it's they sit down, and Noel's they start reading out the chat, and the presenter's oh, and what's he saying there? And it's show us your tits. Oh, that's just Why does the presenter always act like they've never, they're oh, God, and what's he saying now? He's saying that he wants to meet me on Friday for meet me for a drink. And this is real conversation. Oh, it's shocking. And yeah, and what else is he saying? He's now saying that look at this. He's saying he's really horny and he